Hey, today we're going to talk about the tools you need to start your woodworking journey, so stick around. Hey, welcome to the Woodworking Garage, and today we're talking about tools that you need to get started with your woodworking journey. So a lot of people recently came into some cash. So what I'm hearing is a lot of folks are using some of that cash to get started in woodworking. So when you're making your tool list, I want you to think about it this way. You need tools to measure with, to cut with, to assemble with, and to finish with. And you're going to need some safety equipment. And we're going to talk about all those tools right now. To start with, you just need a few basic measuring tools, like a 16-foot measuring tape that has increments that you can easily read. I like this one by Camillin because it has the increments broken down by 1/8 inch. And it's great for woodworkers. Not all measuring tapes offer that, so be careful which one you buy. You might need a speed square. It's a very helpful measuring device, and it helps you to mark and make straight lines and check for 90-degree square. A combination square is great. You can get these for less than 10 bucks, and I use this one all the time. Next, you're going to need some tools for cutting your wood. And this is the most expensive category we're going to talk about today. Now, a table saw is great to have, and if it's within your budget, I highly recommend compact style or job site style table saw. They're more affordable than a cabinet style saw. You can get them for $400 to $500. Just be aware of the features. Some saws are not the same as others, and you may end up disappointed. One thing you're going to want to look for is that it has an accurate fence, easy to adjust. Another feature to look for is whether or not it will accept a dado stack, because at some point in your woodworking journey you may start working with dados. And lastly, I'd consider a saw that has good dust collection. I love my DeWalt compact table saw. It's a great saw for the money. Now, you don't necessarily need a miter saw right away. Everything you do here you can actually do on the table saw. But if it's within your budget, I'd highly recommend a 12-inch miter saw. Again, I like the DeWalt brand, and this particular model has a feature that puts a cut line on your material so you can see exactly where your blade's going to end up. And it's great for accurate cuts. Great for brand new woodworkers. But hey, if that's not in the budget, that's okay. Like I said, most of the cuts you want to do, you can actually do on the table saw. Or you may want to consider picking up a circular saw. It's real handy to use, and it's much cheaper than a miter saw. Another cutting tool that you may find very useful, as I have in this shop, and that is a flush trim saw. You can get these for about $15 online. They're great for making small cuts, trimming edges. I use this a lot for cutting dowels. Now that you have your project measured and your pieces cut, we want to talk about assembling. You're going to need a drill. I highly recommend a battery-operated drill set so you don't have to drag an extension cord all over your shop. And the biggest feature on your drill, look for one that's a dual speed. That is either a 2 or a 3-speed drill. Pocket holes is one of the most popular joinery methods for new woodworkers. It's quick and easy to make pocket holes, and the joints are strong, and you can make a lot of things with it. Now, there's a lot of different jigs on the market. I've done a tool review on most of them, and you can find those links in the description below. I really like this one made by Armor Tool Company. It's great for new woodworkers. You put your wood in here, and you tighten it up and clamp it down, and you're ready to drill. It's color-coded, so it comes with color-coded screws that helps you easily grab the right screw size for the material thickness that you're working with. If you decide to purchase a pocket hole tool, make sure you budget for clamps. There's a couple different style clamps that are very useful when doing pocket hole joinery. One is called the 90-degree clamp. It's designed so that this end of the clamp slips down into a pocket hole, and then you can tighten up your two pieces of wood and put pocket holes in the other holes that you've drilled while holding your workpiece steady, keeping it from slipping around. Another popular clamp is the auto-adjusting face clamp, where all it is just a flat face that allows you to grab two pieces of wood, clamping it together, and holding it in place during the assembly process. Now, you're also going to need F-style and some squeeze clamps. This is what I call the squeeze clamp, so you just squeeze it to tighten it up. Now, this works great when you need a third hand to hold a piece of wood together while you're getting ready to assemble it. And that's how I use most of these clamps. They're not very good for putting a lot of pressure. For instance, when you're trying to do a glue up and you need a lot of pressure on your workpiece, It's not real good for that. That's where you're going to want this twisty style clamp. With these clamps, you can put a lot of pressure on your workpiece. So if you have two pieces of wood that maybe are out of alignment, or maybe one is a little warped, you can put a lot of pressure on it to help get it back in line. I highly recommend these clamps from Harbor Freight because they're easy on the budget. This 6-inch twisty clamp right here costs $3. And this 12-inch squeeze clamp I believe costs $5. You go to the home center and purchase this clamp and you're going to spend close to $10 and $15 on these clamps. Now once you have your project assembled, you need to finish it. Start with an orbital sander such as this. Again, I highly recommend the battery operated version. It'll cost a little more initially, but it's well worth the investment. When you're moving about your shop or needing to go outside to do some sanding, you don't have to drag an extension cord with you. Next, if you're thinking about buying a router, don't make the mistake that I did and go out and buy a big honking 2.5 horsepower router when all you need is a palm router for most projects. I sold my big router, purchased this one, and I love it. I now use it on almost every project that I build. My favorite bits are the round over bits to smooth off rounded edges and corners. And again, I went with the battery operated one so that it's convenient for me to move about my shop or even take my workpiece outside. Now lastly, the finishing process includes painting and staining. And most people start with paint brushes and foam brushes for applying paints and stains and the clear coat finishes onto their workpiece. But if it's in your budget, you may want to look for an HVLP paint sprayer. Now you can get them anywhere from about $75 up to $750. The one I have in this shop is an Earl X 5500 and I got it on sale for about $250. I like it a lot. It allows me to spray paints and stains as well as the clear coats. It's a high volume, low pressure, so it doesn't create a big mist cloud that goes all over the place. I can contain the overspray by simply adding plastic sheeting here around my shop and throwing some drop cloths on the floor, and that works great. Hey, I've got a video for that, so I'll stick a link to it up above. Now hey, you don't need all the tools that I just showed you to get started with woodworking. And in fact, really all you need to get started is maybe a circular saw and a drill. So if that's all you can afford on your budget, you can still get started in woodworking. Here's another tip for you. You don't have to have brand new tools. And in fact, if you're working with a tight budget, I recommend you go on to Craigslist or onto the Facebook Marketplace and maybe visit some yard sales on the weekend and see if you can't pick up some used tools that are in great shape to get started in woodworking. I do recommend that instead of buying a brand new, cheap brand tool that may not give you the results you're hoping for, I recommend you buy a used, good brand tool because it's going to work much better for you in the long run. Because remember, as a new woodworker, if you have decent tools and you're getting good results, you're going to be happier with the outcome. But if you're getting bad results from your tools, you're going to get frustrated and discouraged, and you may even give up your dream. So hey, all the tools I just showed you, plus a lot more that I have in my shop, I'm going to put links to those tools in the description below. So you can go check out pricing and see what may fit your budget. Hey, if you found just one thing of value in this video, please give me that thumbs up. Because every time you give me a thumbs up, YouTube will show this video to someone else, and that's how this channel grows. If you're new here, I encourage you subscribing because on this channel I do product builds and honest tool reviews. I give you lots of tips and tricks along the way and show you how to save money and make money in woodworking. And if you like this video, I'm going to put up a couple more right here that I think you may enjoy. So you can click on those and hop on over and check those out, and I'll see you over there. Hey, thanks for watching.